Hi folks, we're here at the Be Quiet suite over at CES 2020 and I'm with Martin, who's going to be explaining some of the new products that they've got on store. So starting off with this new chassis, so we've seen parts of this one before, but what's new about this particular one here?
Yeah, so what you see here is the PB500 DX. So you probably already know the PB500, which is a silent focus case that we released last year and introduced at Computex. And many people have been asking for a more airflow focused version of that case in particular because it has a very interesting price point. So that's basically what we did here. We have this mesh front, and this one's only coming with the mesh top cover. So the PB500 had a closed top cover or the mesh top cover, so you could choose with this one because of the direction you cannot choose anymore. And there's also a third PureWings 2 fan installed in the top for more and better airflow.
And we see this one comes equipped with some adjustable RGB strips in the front as well.
Exactly.
And these have a control on the front here, don't they?
Yeah, so the reset button was replaced with an RGB control button, and yes, what you say is absolutely correct. This is addressable RGB, which is the first for Be Quiet. If you don't want to use the button, or if you want to do some more elaborate effects, you can also hook it up to your motherboard. Will work with any of the usual suspects. There's also an RGB strip inside, by the way. And another feature that was requested by many was USB Type-C, which we've also integrated in this front panel.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And in terms of pricing, this is going to be just about 20 or so pounds more than the existing price. It's about 100 euros, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be about 100 euros. We don't have the exact pound pricing locked down yet, but 100 euros is going to be the base price, basically.
Okay, and when are you expecting this one to be available then?
Already in March.
Perfect. Now, you've also got a bunch of coolers here.
Oh, yeah.
So if you could talk me through which ones you've got here.
Sure. We got the entry-level product, which is the PureRock 2, so the successor to the PureRock. Main differences are that this is slightly offset, so we have the asymmetrical design, which is better for compatibility with mainstream systems, so the fan doesn't block the RAM. The fan is also now a PureWings 2 fan, and it's got the direct touch heat pipes at the bottom. And well, this silver version is going to be costing about 39 euros. And there's a €5 premium for the black version. So this cooler is actually going to be available in black as well, which looks pretty cool, which you can already see in action in this white case.
Yeah, no, it definitely matches it quite nicely.
Black and white color theme. There's the second cooler that we have here, which is the ShadowRock 3. This one's placed kind of between the PureRock 2 and the DarkRock series, performance and pricing wise. So the TDP of this one is about 190 watts. This one was 150. The predecessor of this one, the ShadowWings 2, was at about 180 watts. It's got the bicolor aluminum top cover here. The fan is a ShadowWings 2 fan now. The predecessor still had a PureWings 2 fan, but it makes more sense, of course, to use a better fan that actually shares a part of the name with the cooler as well. Decoupled fan frame, of course, and also the offset construction here for better compatibility with mainstream systems.
And that should give more clearance on the RAM sockets and things like that as well.
Exactly, which is a concern that some people have with the DarkRock series, for example. I mean, with DarkRock coolers, you can still move the fan up a bit to help with that, but they are geared towards high-end and enthusiast platforms.
That makes a lot of sense since so many RAM kits nowadays are incredibly tall.
Yeah, so we're tailoring towards that.
Yeah. Right, so we said we were going to be taking a look at some power supplies, and this particular unit over here is a true beast, Martin. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure is. That's our new flagship power supply, the DarkPower Pro 12. Going to be available with 1200 and 1500 watts. And you already see this beautiful aluminum case. And on the side you can see it's 80 plus titanium rated, so highest possible efficiency up to over 94% efficiency. And yeah, you can also see a lot of connectors here in the back.
Yeah, you're not going to be having a
yeah, we actually have the
connectors
full
for anything
cable set
in the
of the
PCI.
1500 watt unit here, which is this here.
Wow.
So there's about 10 PCI connectors in here. While I have the cables here, They are single-sleeved, no capacitors inside the cables, of course. Yeah, we basically designed this power supply to check all the boxes. And there's a frameless fan inside, which you can see here, for example. So we've taken it out of another unit just to demonstrate how it looks. So there's no frame. This is a patented design by Be Quiet, actually. There's an air funnel around it to funnel the air to where it needs to be to properly cool the power supply. I have a few designs here.
Yeah, I was really interested in these. Could you talk us through? So is this the iterative process for the shroud design, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the first drafts, basically. And you can see there's not a lot going on here. But then you have solution 4 here. And you can see where our chief engineer made some marks of what he wants to cut out. Solution 5 now has these cutouts, but they were too deep, so they didn't really do what they were supposed to do. And you can see in the end result, these edges are a lot smoother. And yeah, as I said, funnel the air exactly where it should go.
Are placed underneath this mesh over here.
Exactly, under the mesh design, there's pretty much exactly like that.
Now, I think certainly the thing that caught my attention first when picking it up is this incredibly solid outer aluminium shell. So this is, in itself, I think we've got one here. This is without the unit inside.
Yeah.
And so is this act as more like a heat sink, or is it just to be as rigid and strong as possible to give more of a premium feel to it, maybe?
The latter. We want this to check our boxes, so it needs to look well as well, but there's no connection between the casing and the heat-inducing parts of the power supply.
Yep. And in terms of the actual
we have
unit,
active cooling anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense then. And for the actual unit itself, we've got two of the are these ones from this model, or are these for the other one?
Yeah. These are both Dark Power Pro 12.
Right. So we can see, and this has all been all built up completely from scratch for this particular unit, hasn't it? Or is this from?
Yes, this is a completely new design, so it's not based off of any older Be Quiet power supply. Although you can see some similarities. For example, there's a wire-free design as well, just like the straight Power 11. So you don't see any cables. All the connections are running through the PCB. But apart from that, it's all 105 degrees Japanese capacitors, best quality you can get. A lot of coils. Yeah, it's got a modern topology. And one thing that we didn't touch on actually, which is maybe even the most important thing about this power supply, is the fully digital regulation. So some manufacturers talk about digital power supplies, and they mean they have an interface to set the fan speed or something. That's not what we're talking about. We're also not talking about just a digitally regulated PFC, but also the LLC is digitally controlled, and also the voltage, which results in much better ripple noise, or lower ripple noise, I should say, better efficiency, better voltage quality in general.
Now, it sounds ideal for if you're going to be a strong overclocker, perhaps, or if you're going to be running lots of GPUs in like a rendering system.
For overclockers, we actually do have something as well, because per default, this power supply is running on 6 12-volt rails, but just like the Dark Power Pro 11, the 12 also has an overclocking key which you can connect to the power supply, and then you can switch off the overpower protection and switch off the multi-rail configuration to have one 1,500 watt rail, basically.
Oh wow, okay.
So you won't run into any issues, and have a lot of headroom for overclocking as well.
And then just one final thing about the cables. So does this use the same pinout, do you know, as the existing power supplies? So some of the other cables that already exist, for instance, would they work in case you've got a damaged one, or if you wanted to replace one that you've maybe lost in the past or something, or would you have to get a whole new set of new ones?
I cannot answer that for the Dark Power Pro 12. It's a question that's come up a couple of times in the past, and Be Quiet has been really good to ensure compatibility between models in the past. So I would assume this is also compatible, but I cannot answer that at this time.
Yeah, because that would be one feature which would definitely be, I think, welcome for especially people who've maybe gone with cable extensions. And, or new cables like that. So if something's if it's compatible with some of the older cables already, then that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. As I said, I cannot answer that with certainty right now, but I would assume that would be the case.
Right. So pricing wise, obviously this is a big boy unit, both of these. So what figures are we going to be looking at roughly?
They certainly are. So they are the top of the line for Be Quiet, and for the larger 1200, for the larger 1500 watt unit, you'll be paying about 439 euros, and the smaller 1200 watt unit will be priced around 389 euros. And it's actually already coming out at the end of February.